calling from a 330 area code. Who's this where you're calling from?
Hey, what's up? First-time caller, long-time listener. My name's Dorian. I'm actually calling from Crown Heights, Brooklyn, so real close to where y'all are at.
Nice. What did you say? Is it? I couldn't hear you. It cut out a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was flipping to the speakerphone to the regular phone.
All good.
Yeah, my name's Dorian Wallace, Crown Heights.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I actually, the reason I decided to call today is because I was extremely disturbed by the Bill Maher and the children thing you guys posted. And so just to give a little bit of background, I'm actually a mental health professional, and I work in the prison system. Specifically worked at Rikers Island and now work in youth detention centers. And, politically, I'm an abolitionist and very much against the prison industrial complex. However, there are certain types of folks that are extremely dangerous, and I'm not sure exactly what to do about them. But just to put this out there, Bill Maher was showing every sign of legitimate predatory grooming behavior. So I just wanted to put it out there that, first of all, thank you all for putting it into the public, because I don't watch Bill Maher. So I've been sharing that with a lot of like-minded parents, but also...
What, as an example of behavior to look out for?
Oh, as an example, but also we're reporting him, because that behavior is dangerous.
Yeah,
no, caller. I originally saw the clip where he just brought up the trans thing, and that seemed like weird enough. But like the more we looked through that, like every single portion of that discussion was like wrong in a sort of harrowing kind of way.
It was,
Why is an adult man making a Viagra and pornography joke to the children
while drinking too,
while drinking? This is and this is just to be upfront, this is the kind of BS that they try to claim the that Drag Story Hour is doing, and we go to those events with our kid, and they're some of the safest places I've ever gone.
Right,
and it's
not sexualized,
absolutely ridiculous. Not at all.
It's like taking your kid to a play or to some sort of show because it's colorful and energetic.
Yeah. So it just all of that I just wanted to put out there. I did also want to, and this is just a kind of nuanced angle, I did want to make sure, just to let you guys know, that I don't think we should be initially blaming the parents, because people like Bill Maher are most likely using predatory audition techniques that the parents don't even know what they're getting into. They may be like, oh, there's an audition, and it's really the predators we have to be worried about. And so it's more of a warning sign to other parents that if you see this stuff, get your kid out immediately. And we're in a much better era than we were maybe even 10 years ago. But it's just one of those things that I just wanted to inject a little bit of nuance, because y'all do such good work.
Appreciate
that. And just from somebody who works in these spaces, it's very easy to blame the parents, but once you get into the nuance, you find out that they were conned also. So...
and there's there's a financial imbalance, and perhaps they had no idea what things were going to look like. They probably didn't even meet Bill Maher in the audition process before this happened. So
I mean, I definitely, there's some problematic stage parent type of thing, and generally, but I agree with you 100% that the producers laughing off stage was who really made my skin crawl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All of it was horrifying. I mean, and it's just one of those things where. I mean, I watched it just like, oh, it's going to be funny Bill Maher stuff, and literally was like, oh my God, this is a mission now.
I mean, it really is like classic grooming, at least rhetoric, right? And you would typically, if this was the behavior exhibited by somebody who was saying positive things about liberals or the left right now, I feel like the right would be having a complete panic attack. But because he's still, I mean, he's basically a libertarian, but they pretend he's a liberal that's on their side. It's just been not, and I've seen nobody else really covering it for the most part, even though it's an outrageous segment.
That's one of the reason I've been pushing y'all's clip around, is because it's not really getting talked about, and yet we have these fictional stories that they're completely freaking out about that aren't true, and then there's one that's literally right in front of you and silence. And it's that kind of thing where, I'm very, very, I'll put it this way. If we took our kid to a drag story hour and somebody did that, we would respond the exact same way. It wouldn't matter who's saying it. It would be, the messaging is disgusting. And that has never happened at a drag story hour. Where that has happened is at church events or at schools, or we're musicians here, so there's a lot of very terrifying things with private lesson teachers that have come out over the last couple of years. And it's very, very, very scary stuff, but I was really glad y'all brought attention to it. So,
no, that's a great point. Because, I can imagine if like a news story crossed the line where like a hidden tape caught like a drag queen story hour reader doing a Sophia Viagra joke, and it'd be like, are you fucking kidding me?
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
And I also do just want to emphasize, the only reason I'm bringing up drag story hour is because that's one of the most visible attacks that these right-wing losers put their focus on.
No, some loser IM'd us after that segment. I don't know if you heard, but like minutes after we did that segment, somebody said like, but you guys defend drag queen story hour, so it's an app to bring up.
Yeah, it's like, well, if you go to one, you find out that it's literally somebody reading a book, and that's it.
It's about making literacy fun, not grooming kids.
Yes, it's literally about costumes and stories.
Exactly.
Normal kid stuff. And they happen to be professionals in a particularly long tradition that, for whatever reason, makes libertarians and conservatives really uncomfortable. So
appreciate the call. Thanks so much.
Yeah, totally. Thank you.
Bye. Real Sick Grooming says, Emma, I love your stance and support for uncommitted movement. I agree with you that they should demand policy proposal from Kamala, but Kamala can't give a real proposal, and you agree with her strategy because it can trigger Netanyahu to do something worse and draw Dems into an even larger war. So what is it? Do you agree with her strategy or don't? Well, no, I'm just saying, I am giving is kind of submerged, I think, in the conversation.
What they're thinking is.
What the incentives are inside of a campaign where they're trying to appeal to millions of people, and it's about becoming president of the United States. What some of the structural issues that she's perceiving she has to overcome are as it relates to this issue. But at the end of the day, I think that they feel that they want to play this as everything as safe as possible and do no harm. I mean, that's what the Walls pick was about too, right? And I just think that I also want to win in November. And I think that Matt is right, that this could have electoral consequences. I mean, that state Georgia representative, I'm forgetting her name, but she had this
Rulo Rahman.
Yeah, she had this point over the weekend that a lot of Arab voters are registered as white in the census and things like that. And so some of the uncommitted data may be a bit submerged in polling somewhat. So that's just something to consider. Fantastic moron, fantastic news. The local AT&T workers here in Pedunk, Boiling Springs in Spartanburg, South Carolina are on strike. This is huge. South Carolina is not known for its pro-worker stance. Is Clemson bringing out the clause for right to work? Stay tuned. Love the show. Great work. Free Palestine. Left is best.
Yeah, I mean, two things. Like one, like I kind of to go back, Biden, when he looked like the nominee, it looked like Trump was just going to waltz to victory. That was probably the worst time because it was clear that like Trump did not have the better policy, and he was just going to march to victory. So like as you say about the possibility, I think it is greater with Kamala. Also, it's not just about why they're going to be risk averse is because and do what sort of the party is ready to do, which it's a party with a lot of Zionist fundraisers and Zionists in power. They're not going to want to move in any kind of direction like that. Because also you have AIPAC spending in the Senate and House races too. Yeah.
That's why they didn't let a Palestinian speaker on the stage. And let's be clear, there's a part of them that like those headlines that came out, right? That they didn't allow a Palestinian speaker on stage because they're worried about AIPAC and these Zionist donors. And there's a constituency still within the Democratic Party. That wants
to win that way.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz was praising the idea of not having a Palestinian speaker on the stage. I mean,
that's how they want to win. Exactly.
Yeah, right. So there's that as well, and it still is. I mean, Biden's party to a degree. The campaign, Harris is making do, but it's less than 2 months old, and so a lot of this we're just not going to know until we get a book about it or something like that, because it's so behind the scenes.
If she starts needing votes, though, I think that's the one way that I think this could possibly change. But I don't predict elections, so I'm not sure how realistic that is or not.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.